So, why did we decide to get a new Subaru?
Oh. We went out on a trip. We were just going to take some of our friends out, very hesitant friends out to do some off-roading. They have an SG with, I think, they had a lift and some tires on it.
We're going to go back to the hole, which is a pretty crazy little climb.
Yeah, we were going to climb up to the top, but not actually go down in the hole, because we didn't want to be down in the hole again.
Yeah.
We were going to hike down in. But we never made it that far. We got to the point on the road, which is about an hour drive. We were just about to turn into the trails and pulled over to re-spool the new winch line on, just to spool it under a little tension. And went to pull out of there and heard all kinds of nasty noises. After looking around a bit, decided it was probably a wheel bearing. And at that point, like, when I was like going through the mental checklist of all the things I thought it probably was, like trailing arm brackets that had ripped free from the body, or things like that, you know, just basically rust-related structural failures. That was sort of the point in my mind of Jill, like, all right, the wheel bearings are kind of the pain in the ass to do on these things anyways.
You could do it.
It's time to call it.
We could replace it and get back on the trail, but might as well go ahead and just find a body.
Yeah, for a while it's been like breaking something almost every single trip. So, got back, got a tow truck, got the thing towed back after we drove around to find a cell signal, and we were all sitting around on the front porch looking through ads. I think that was one of the ones I found that day. I ended up, just a couple days later that week, we drove out there with my buddy's pickup truck and a U-Haul trailer to claim one out in Cincinnati.
$500.
$550 I did it back for.
So Project Granny Paws? Think of names for it.
Yeah, that's about adequate. It's that lovely maroon color, of course, with the tan interior, with that lovely 90s Subaru pattern on it. The interior is amazing.
Project Offroad Granny.
Offroad Granny.
Yeah.
I'll keep working on that one, maybe, but keep it under consideration.
Yeah, we're gonna fix the blue one and keep riding it as a backup vehicle. It still works. We just didn't. A lot of things could have been prevented.
Yeah, I mean, we could have done a lot more like rust prevention very early on in its life. I mean,
could have lifted it earlier, saved some damage to the underbody and constant banging on rocks and whatever else.
Yeah, I really should have put rocker armor on it earlier. Could have saved a lot of that rust in the rocker areas. There's a lot of the trailing arms, rear trailing arms tie in basically at the rocker, so might have avoided some of that kind of issue. So that's plans to do on the new one. So plan for the new one is, the ad said needs engine, right? So we didn't really get anything out of the sellers. They didn't really know anything. The main thing that made me go after this one is I was you know, texting everybody off Craigslist for pictures, and I was asking me to send me pictures of the rear rocker or the rear wheel arches, because every single Subaru I've seen, every single, I should say, first-gen Forester I've seen, has rust around, at least a little rust, visible rust around the rear wheel arches. At least in the areas I've lived, which was Michigan before this, and being down here in West Virginia now a lot.
Not quite as bad.
They're not quite as bad, but still, you know, Kentucky, Ohio, every single one of them
suck.
Yeah, they had a little bit of rust around. All even the ones that said no rust. I said, okay, send me a picture of the rear wheel arches, and sure enough, it's like, that looks like a little rust bubble there, and they're like, oh yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, well. Okay.
But so like I'm using it as the canary in the coal mine, right? Because I've been under enough of these to see that they all have rust issues underneath. Like I saw a bunch when I was searching that were basically being sold as like project cars because the rear subframes were rusted out. My rear subframe on my blue one was pretty bad too. It was sketchy.
But even then, it wasn't all rusted out.
No, I mean I think it was still serviceable, but it might not pass inspection. I'm still
twisty corners.
Yeah. Michigan, there's no safety inspections or anything, so you can get away with having a rusty piece of junk, but we do at least have some basic inspections here in West Virginia, I think, so.
I understand.
A little bit of both there.
Yeah, a little bit.
So I don't think my blue one, when I finally become a West Virginia resident, I would have been able to register that one anyway, so this will be preparation for that bold day. my first SF I got, my white one, was kind of like that, where it was like running terrible, and it just actually turned out to be a vehicle speed sensor. It actually triggered it in limp mode. So I got a steal on that one. But yes, this one was something a little more serious. We didn't even really look at the engine, we just looked at the body for rust. And sure enough, so that, back to the point, getting off track as you always, is I had asked the guy to send me the picture of the wheel arches, and they were clean. So I was like, okay, I gotta go check this one out.
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, the wheel arches. Okay. And yeah, got under this one. This one's the cleanest one I've ever seen. So, and I've looked at quite a few of these in my quest for buying my third SF. So,
second Miata.
Yeah. So I decided to go for it. Didn't really even pay attention to what was with the engine, because I figured, you know what, I found a rust-free one. That's kind of like a gem to me. So if it needs an engine, I'll put an engine in. It's not, I did it on my white one, so got it home, and we tried to start it up. We got a battery. Got the battery charged.
Did you really try to start it?
Yeah,
I wasn't there for that.
Oh, and it wouldn't even crank. The lights just dimmed and just like the solenoid clicked, but it wouldn't crank over. It sounded like the engine was seized up, and
we couldn't figure out why.
From what I had read, like these engines generally don't seize up. Like if they do seize, once the engine cools down, they unseize supposedly, according to other people who've had seized their engines, anyways.
According to the internet people.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, well, let's see what's going on here. And I think you were over there helping me. And
I'm the one that spotted it. I was like, dude, there's a big hole in the top of the engine.
Yeah, so what I did, I got a breaker bar on the crankshaft bolt and started trying to turn it, and it wouldn't budge. And I was like, wow, okay. I started doing some research, talking about people using like an oil gun into one of the spark plug holes to push it over and stuff. But we started looking at the engine, and you spotted that there was a hole in the top of the crankcase. There was a giant hole,
and it was really, honestly, hard to miss because it was huge.
Yeah, so it had apparently broken a connecting rod.
So we're planning just to weld it up and reuse the engine.
Yeah, right. In this case, it actually punched a hole through the top of the case, like right where the seam is, like right under the intake manifold there. It was like jammed against the case. So that's why the engine wouldn't turn over, because the connecting rod was actually jammed between the case and the crank. So I got an engine out of a 99 Legacy, which is actually kind of a good engine to get because it's a little bit of a hybrid between the Phase 2 and the Phase 1. It's got the Phase 2 crankcase actually and a few other parts. But it's still a Phase 1, so I won't have to really screw around with making it work. But yeah, you know, just the usual stuff. Replace the head gaskets, replace some of the seals, replace the timing belts. It's got about 100,000 miles on it. I stuck my cheap little USB borescope into the cylinders through the spark plug hole.
So, fast forward, we have a new engine, and we're going to rebuild it with new seals and put it in there. We're going to rust-proof it.
Probably going to swap over the...
So we're going to put that engine in that bike.
Interior too, because the leather interior
it's awful.
It's really been.
But then again, if it's going to be Offroad Granny, we probably should keep it.
Maybe, but like the leather interior is just nice because you can just wipe it down when you get mud on it.
Maybe we can find new tacky leather covers.
Maybe some tan leather, yeah.
Yeah, tan with like a really annoying pattern on them.
Maybe.
And like just senseless use of blue and red, like inside the tan.
I think on the original one it's more like pink and blue, but
yeah, something really tacky.
Pink and like sky blue
for sure. They want it to match their hair.
Blue hair. There's some wild grannies. Yeah, so swap everything over. But take a few additional steps. We're going to go a little crazy with the rust proofing. With like some fluid film up inside some of the, like inside the rockers and stuff, and just some undercoating inside, especially along the seams on the rear wheel wells. It's a bad place for rust on these. Obviously, you'll have the rear strut race, which I feel is really critical in there from day one.
For sure.
And then the other big thing I think is going to do is build some rocker armor.
Yeah, and have the thing raised up.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be at the beginning. I'm probably going to do like boat sides on it too. Like, so I'll get the rocker armor, and then I'll do full skid plates between the rockers and the frame rails too.
Anyway, so that's the reason why we've been lame and haven't put anything online.
Because we are unable to, at least any super related stuff. What do you guess? 64,000 miles?
Yeah, 3 of those are for me.
Okay. Wow, already, yeah?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, well, I'm driving. It definitely doesn't have an LSD, so it doesn't feel as sure-footed in a straight line as Mary's does.
You going in it?
What's that?
You going in?
Yeah, my initial plans are going to be the LSD, headers, and intake. I'm not sure what order.
Yeah. All good mods?
Yeah, I feel like that would set me on power and power delivery. I might look into either swapping out some coilovers or why did I turn back down there? That's pretty bad.